Hey everyone, it's Stephanie again, and you are tuned into the review of Married at First Sight, Season 10, Episode 16, Decision Day. So before I get started, don't forget to click subscribe and the notification bell so you can find out when I post my videos first. All right, change of scenery as you guys can tell, but at 7 months pregnant, I do it where I'm comfortable, and this is where it is today. So yeah, that's it. So let's just kind of jump in. I don't if you guys have army crawled through this season with me, then we probably feel very much the same about Decision Day. I didn't have too many surprises. They started out Decision Day, or the Decision Day episode, with Jessica and Austin, which it was like a warm cup of cocoa on a winter day. I'm a Chicago girl. That's where I was born and raised for the most part, even though I live in South Florida. But if you are from the north, or even just been in cold weather, you know how like soothing and wonderful that is. And that's how they felt. It was just such a nice way to start that episode and to start the end of this season, because this season has been a train wreck, and we knew they were going to both say yes. I even told my husband, and I don't know if I said it last week to you guys, that I thought that Austin was going to say he loved her on Decision Day. He did that, and we all know that Austin has been showing his love. Most importantly, has been showing his love, and that's what matters the most. So he said he loved her. They both chose to move on together, and I think that they're going to be great. I would not be surprised if they start a family sooner than later, even though they're saying 2 to 3 years, but they just have such a wonderful vibe. There's been several couples that have worked out in this whole experimental series. I think they are the poster child, even though I have a couple other faves. I have like Ashley and Anthony from, I think, season 5 from Chicago. I think Jessica and Austin like really demonstrate what this whole experiment is supposed to be, and I wish them well. I'm not going to stick too long on them or any of the other couples, really. Let's go to the next couple, Brandon and Taylor. I don't know why, I think for weeks now I've been saying I don't want to see Brandon and Taylor on my TV, and they continue to show up. At this point, they're probably contractually obligated, but Brandon and Taylor shows up by herself. It's this big lead up to, is Brandon going to be there? I knew Brandon was going to be there, and I think the reason Brandon thought it was a good idea to be there is because he felt like she was going to say yes. Because obviously when she said she wanted a divorce, which was the smartest thing for the both of them, because that whole situation is extremely toxic, he got up, he said he's over it. After he made excuses for poor behavior throughout the season, and Taylor did as well, but we're just talking about Decision Day, was kind of disrespectful to the experts, as well as getting up in the middle of when it was time for him to take accountability, and they're kind of putting a little pressure on him and checking him for his behavior and attitude and almost haughtiness. He gets up in the middle because he has to use the bathroom like he's a 3-year-old. I'm over him. He's not ready for anything right now. And the way that he throws a tantrum, I'm sure it's significantly worse. I think because they had this little secret midnight rendezvous that they were doing off filming, that he thought it was going to go a different way, but it didn't. And, you demonstrate your character not when things are going really well, but when things are not going well. And time again, his character has revealed someone who lacks coping skills. And it's not just about the anxiety, because he's not the first anxious person to be on camera. It's really about the way that he demonstrates it when he's triggered. And it could be something that's significant triggers or something minimal, like just not really liking to be called to the carpet. So that's Brandon and Taylor. I wish them well as people, but I think the right decision was made here. So moving on, I don't know why they brought Zach and Mindy back either. They had already decided not to move along. So I don't know what they're doing, but God, I hope next season is much better, or they fix some of these kinks, because it made no sense to have them there except for fillers, and it was awkward to watch them. But I'm happy that Mindy looks more in charge, more assertive, more sure of herself. Zach, I'm sure, people will be lined up for him nonetheless. I hope that he finds what he's looking for. That's it. Next, we have Katie and Derek. I knew Derek was going to say yes. Derek didn't surprise me by his responses. Derek wants to try. Derek is a genuinely good guy, I think, giving his all. Katie threw me for a loop. I didn't really know where Katie was going to go, but I knew that if she was smart in any capacity, she would kind of make the decision that she made, and she chose to stay to really give it a chance, because a lot of her hiccups with moving forward in the relationship has to do with insecurity, baggage, dysfunctional relationship history, etc. It doesn't have to do with the things that she's really been presented. And I think what she's looking for is a taste of the past, which hasn't worked out, which is why this unfamiliar calmness and consistency is not working for her, or hadn't worked for her, and so she was questioning it and overthinking it. But she said yes. I hope that, I hope it works out. I hope she just gets out of her own way and really gives the relationship the chance that it has, because otherwise, unfortunately, I don't see it working out. I think, like I said, the whole season, I think that they've had great potential, but, time will tell if she'll be able to kind of move past her stuff and work through her stuff in order to, make it a good match. I don't know what's happening in the reunion special, so I didn't watch the previews. Like I tell you guys every week, I don't want to watch the previews to like trip me up for the reviews that I do. But I hope it works out with Derek and Katie. But they chose each other. It was, I think, only two couples that chose each other, Jessica and Austin, Derek and Katie. I mean, no real surprise there. Our last couple is Michael and Mica. Mica chose to get a divorce. I will say the only reason why I was surprised is because her and Michael's shtick was like, each week we try, no matter what, no matter how many hiccups, no matter how bad it gets, no matter all these things, we try. And so she said, okay, the first time we felt married was like a couple of days ago. And so I felt like it could work. So when she said she wanted a divorce, I think it was surprising me, because she, to me, had the essence of just not wanting to fail. So I thought maybe she might stick it out and see if it could get any better. But the other half of me is not surprised. I mean, we have a laundry list of reasons why she made that decision. One of the main one being complete dishonesty, and on Michael's end, and not really knowing who he is. And they both had their issues, but I don't know. I'm not surprised, and I think that's probably the best decision for her, because Michael, with his issues, and Mica has hers, but Michael, his issues are a little more deep-seated, and they get in the way of him being his authentic self. And even at the beginning, when the Pastor Cal was talking to him and kind of like trying to hold him accountable, at first his explanation was more validating. Well, when you have had this experience, or when you're trying to do this, then you tend to, these words are used, you tend to do what you have to do. No, you should say, I tend to do what I have to do. I tend to be dishonest. I speak for yourself, because everybody doesn't respond that way. And if they do, everybody doesn't validate it. So he eventually turned a corner where he took accountability, but it's kind of like the same shtick with Michael. At first, it's like a complete autopilot of lies or reasons why, and then he's able to kind of process and explain, and then have this kumbaya moment, and then it happens again. And we've never seen it not happen, up until a few days before that, where he changed his job again and didn't tell her. It's like very fundamental, basic stuff that he's unable to do. So right now he needs to just really focus on himself, address some of the issues that are still getting in the way, and then move forward, and for Mica, she can just round out those edges a little bit, and just work on good communication, and find someone who she can trust, because I think the mountaintop they died on was that flight to the honeymoon, because that whole thing about intimacy and the honeymoon, and the target date for that, I mean, if you start off that way with the lack of the ability to trust, and then you have validating situations that continuously happen, then you're at a loss. And like I said, she has her issues too, but I think the dishonesty thing is something that should just come up, or being honest is something that should just come up at first. There's no wiggle room for I'll be honest if you're vulnerable. Like, no, you just need to be honest. So I think they made the right decision. And Michael obviously was, he was obviously taken aback by that. That's not what he wanted. But on Unfiltered, she was talking about how, like, he ignores her a lot. So we've seen him kind of shut down and ignore her, like, in person on camera. But then she talked about the behind the scenes where he, like, kind of ignores her a lot, even when they're not filming. So it's like, bro, you're not ready. You're not ready at all. Because that does not work in a marriage. You can't do that. So there's a lot that we saw and a lot that we didn't see that makes whatever decision these people made the right decision for themselves. So we shall see. But I didn't really have any huge surprises. I am looking forward to the reunion special, though. I will be doing a review for that. And yeah, let me know what you guys thought. I'm sure most of you guys are not surprised at all as well. As always, don't forget to subscribe, comment, and like. And please stay safe. And that's it. Everyone have a great weekend.